as we see a third day of gains for oil, some technical signals showing that it's in overbought territory. With that in mind and where the price is at the moment, should there be an extension of OPEC plus cuts?
Thank you for having me. For us, first of all, I want to say that oil and gas, it's a very important resource for Equatorial Guinea. And clearly, as an OPEC member, we have decided that we didn't need to have the April meeting. And clearly, the decision not to have the April meeting was because we needed to monitor a little bit on how the price was going. So I think in June, by the time the June meetings arrive, we will be able to have more information to be able to make decisions. We do believe that stability of the price is important. That's what all as member of OPEC wants. And OPEC is not really controlling the price, but what we want to make sure that is a stable price, because that stability allows countries like us to be able to have a more sustainable planning on our development. We don't like volatility, and clearly what it is very important is that we maintain a stable and long-term pricing that it is. And we do not control regional politics matters, and we know that some members have some issues. For that, we do believe that it's better to monitor, and depending on the monitor and depending on the different factors, then we will make a decision in June.
And we're going to dig into what you're doing with strategy for regrowing Equatorial Guinea's output. But can I push you a little bit in terms of Russia? I caught up with Khalid Al-Faleh yesterday. OPEC Plus and the cohesion of that grouping. Is it as strong as it was, Minister? Do you think the Russians are on board with the principle of an extension?
I think a lot of players need to understand what we have done for this OPEC and non-OPEC alliance. Before all this crisis, we never spoke together. We never talked about the Russia production. We never talked about what OPEC was doing. And what it have achieved is that oil producers around the world, OPEC member and non-OPEC member, they are talking. And I think that conversation and that discussion that we do have twice or 3 times a year is really the important matters. I mean, we all have our own geopolitics that we need to evaluate. In terms of relationship, I think the relationship between OPEC, non-OPEC, Russia, Saudi Arabia as a member, Equatorial Guinea, it's great. We do have a great opportunity to understand better what it is, the problem with each one of the players. So my conclusion will be that, yes, the relationship is going okay. We all have to have our own internal politics. But you have to remember what I say. What we want is a stable price. We do not like volatility, and that volatility have not happened for almost 2 years. So the price has been around in the same area. You know, some people will like to have around 100, and other ones they will like lower. But I think what is clear and is very important is that the producer need a price that they can recover their investment, and also the consumer need a price that is sustainable for their economies.
Minister, stay there for just a moment. We'll come back to you in just a second. Please, your patience is warranted for just a moment. We just need to get to some pictures here as we're seeing Carlos Ghosn's lawyer speaking. In fact, that is Carlos Ghosn himself that we're seeing in a video saying in a pre-recorded statement that he is innocent. So we're monitoring this. We'll bring you more pictures as we get them. We're seeing a pre-recorded statement there from Carlos Ghosn saying that he's innocent, saying that the accusations against him paint a picture of greed. That is what we're hearing from Carlos Ghosn at the moment. Let us get back, though, to Gabriel Obiang, Equatorial Guinea's oil minister. Thank you for your patience there while we got to the breaking news, Minister. I just wanted to turn back to the question of Equatorial Guinea's oil production. As far as we understand, it's at best only a third of what it once was. Now, you yourself have said that you're known among oil executives as the godfather for your tough drill or drop position. And this, of course, after you've been in talks with companies, including Tullow, to take over Exxon's stake in the prolific Zafiro field. Now, I just want to know about your strategy. Is your strategy actually working, given that your oil production is only a third of what it once was?
Okay, well, I'm very flattered by the name. I mean, it's creating me a lot of fans, but also some people are having some doubts on that name. I think what we are trying to do, and what I have been saying, is that we all have suffered through the period in which the price was not really the price that we wanted. So we were very flexible. Our government, we gave extension to companies. We understood that they needed to be able to gather some liquidity, to be able to drill. That period have finished. Now they need to prove that they need to go into investment. And as an oil man, and anybody who is involved in oil, you know that you need to drill to have oil. Because if you don't drill, you don't have discovery. If you don't have discovery, you don't have production. So clearly the companies need to understand that that's what they need to do. Companies that are serious, companies that have liquidity, and companies who know what they do, they have not a problem. We have companies like ExxonMobil drilling 5 wells this year. We have companies like Noble Energy drilling 2 wells this year. We have companies like Cosmos drilling an additional 1 well. We have other companies that they're doing now. Companies who, for any reason, they are not drilling is because they don't have the cash. Clearly, this is not a mums and pop business. This is not a grocery business. This is oil and gas. And you need to be able to have the cash to drill. Now, we are very confident that by this summer, we will have good news regarding the drilling. ExxonMobil, like Noble, they need to keep drilling to be able to maintain the production. We have new explorers like Cosmos that by this summer we will be able to have good news. Definitely. We are touching wood on that matter. But clearly the other key thing is that we need to go to the license rounds. We have a new license round that we just launched last year. And we need to make sure that new players are willing to come with the cash and drill. So again, I think the strategy is working. It's attracting a lot of interest. And we have recently, last week, a conference that we have close to 1,100 delegates. And the answer is yes.
Well, Minister, can I interrupt you there? Because Naira may well have given you the new moniker of drill and drop, Mr. Obiang, Equatorial Guinea Minister, but you're more show me the money. Well, if you want them to show you the money and they're drilling and they're producing, then give me the forecast. What are you going to produce this year? You're part of OPEC. You're a small part, but I want to know your production figures projected for this year and into 2020, because that's what matters to the cohesion of OPEC+. What are your numbers, sir?
Our number at this moment on crude oil is 120,000 barrels per day. Now, the equivalent with all the liquids, this is the LNG, the condensate, and the rest of the products, we have a production of 300,000 barrels equivalent of barrel of oil per day.